We're just
Yeah,
going to
like
leave that one muted. The guy says the N-word like 2 seconds in.
no.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. So yeah, just make sure everything's muted. Whoops.
Yeah. It's a good thing I actually watched the video first before we just clicked play.
This podcast could take a whole different turn that we were not expecting.
So I'm
Anyways.
listening to this podcast with two white guys, and I think they started playing a video or something. I was just listening to them, and they dropped the N-bomb. I was like, I'm not sure if that was TowManG or PlainGuy, but one of them's getting canceled.
I always thought we would get canceled. I would have thought it would have been for something like that. So.
No.
Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, and you're listening to the Towing Life podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life podcast, where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drivers are not. I am your host, TowManG, and as usual, I am joined by my co-host, friend, and former co-worker, the man with very strong opinions, Mr. PlainGuy.
What is going on, G? What is going on?
Oh, you know, same shit, different day. The house is getting a little colder just randomly, which is weird.
Oh, it wasn't. You did go and check your door was not left open?
Yeah, like it's just, I've had the windows open for the last couple of days because we're in the first false spring of winter. And then we're going to come into second winter here in probably another week or two. But I've had all the windows closed and the furnace is on today. And just seems like my furnace either shit the bed or the house just decided to get cold for no reason.
I don't know about you, but I don't think I could call this first fall spring because we never really actually ever had a winter. Like, it has been absolutely, like, it's 10 degrees outside right now.
Mm-hmm.
What little snow we've had one snow accumulation, I think, this winter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, winter has not existed in my part of the province.
We've had snow.
Absolutely insane.
We've had snow that has stayed on the ground for I think 3 weeks now, maybe 4 weeks. We might have got a month of actually having a white blanket of snow.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think we've had that. I was traveling the highways the other day, and there's nothing. There's no snow in the ditches. There's no snow on the roads. The only thing you're seeing is any sort of accumulation that is kind of, that last little bit, even in the spring, that'll hang around.
It was piled.
That kind of, yeah, like that. That's it. Anything that was piled, anything that wasn't piled, it doesn't exist. We're into our muddy season already.
Mm-hmm.
It's unreal to be outside in February in Canada in a t-shirt and be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm comfortable in a t-shirt in very cold weather, but this is, even my wife will be outside and be like, this is like, it's beautiful outside. And she is one of those people that is cold no matter what. So for her to say, hey, it's a beautiful day out
in
is
February?
A little scary. Yeah, in February. So a couple things that we wanted to go over before we get too far into the show. Want to go over a little bit of stats. I think it's been important. We haven't talked with people much about what's been going on with the show and the success that we've been having. And that success comes due to each and every one of you that listen in every week, whether it be over on the YouTube side, whether it be over on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, wherever it is
that listen to us in Germany every week.
Yeah, thanks. Exactly. The one dedicated listener in Germany that we have. The success of the show is based wholeheartedly on you, the listener. Mm-hmm. So we do appreciate it. We are happy to announce over on the audio side, we have crested 40,000 downloads, which is an unreal number. Our numbers continue to increase, our downloads every month. Mm-hmm. We were just going over the trends and the ups and the downs, and it's a consistent growth that we see. Our YouTube viewership subscribers has gone up to over our 400. Mm-hmm. That has been a target goal for us for a long time. So we thank you. If you aren't subscribed on YouTube, go ahead. I think you said it was something like 40% of our listeners are subscribed. The other 60 aren't. Yep. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing. Mm-hmm. And it really helps push our platform. You push our show across platforms. If you have an option to review anywhere, go ahead and do that. We truly do appreciate it. It's been an increase that we we never thought that we would probably see. That being said, other places to find us, you can always visit us on our website at www.towinglife.ca. We try to keep it as updated as possible with different promotions, different things that are going on at the time. You can find us over on Facebook. That's where a lot of people tend to reach out to us.
Mhm.
They'll send us a message through Facebook. So it's the Towing Life Podcast at Facebook. Or you can email us directly at thetowinglife@gmail.com. We always appreciate your feedback, questions, comments, concerns, all that. We try to get to them on the show when we deem them to be, something we can have a little fun with.
Appropriate.
Appropriate, as long as
Yeah.
they're appropriate. So keep them coming. Before we get into it, talking about my wife and the warm weather, my marriage has gone to a new level. And
Oh.
I don't know if I should be insulted or proud of this level. So,
Oh boy.
at the time of recording, tomorrow is the Super Bowl. I don't know if you're aware, G. I know you're not a big football guy.
I know because we got a special going on at the restaurant for like a
Oh,
cheeseburger.
okay. So that's the only reason you know. Could you tell me the two teams that are playing in the Super Bowl?
They're football teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Would you like to take a whirl?
no idea.
No idea. City?
Couldn't tell you.
Name two cities that are in the Super Bowl?
I don't even know where the Super Bowl is being held. I know that there's a lot of controversy about Taylor Swift flying there.
Okay. And
something.
why would Taylor Swift be flying there?
I think she's playing a halftime show.
Nope.
Oh, well then I don't know.
She is dating one of the players from the Kansas City Chiefs, who are one of the teams playing in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So at the time of airing, we'll know who win. I've put my money on KC. It's the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers, and they are playing in Las Vegas, home of the Raiders. So I've got my money on KC. We'll see how that works out. Be sure to drop your comments. Let me know.
Podcast probably didn't age well.
Well, maybe not. It might have. Man, you can't rule out KC in a Super Bowl. They've just been too good. So that being said, with the Super Bowl coming, my wife really enjoys watching the Super Bowl. She's not a huge fan of watching football, but she likes to watch the Super Bowl and likes to watch the halftime show. Which this year, if I'm not mistaken, it's Usher playing the halftime show. So little throwback to, her party days back when we were younger. Usher was kind of a big thing.
Early 2000s, yep.
Exactly. So we went. I had to go today. She gave me the task of going to get snacks. Right. So we have a place in Ontario. I don't know if it's in the US as well, called M&M Meats. Right. And they're known to have all these different pre-packaged, pre-set up stuff that you can deep fry, you can air fry, you can do all the whatever. So she says, I need you to pick up that stuff today. I said, no problem. I'm like, are you going to give me a list so I know what I'm getting?
You better give me a list.
She's like, no, I'm going to send you pictures. And I thought to myself, I was borderline insulted for a second. Because I'm like, you don't even trust me to read. You're going to give me a picture book. And then I realized the genius of this. I can't mess up. I've got the pictures. Unless they don't have it, which she's literally on there, so unless they're sold out. Right. And it was really funny because I roll into the store and I walk in. Of course, I got everything on her list plus some extras because,
you got to get extras.
100% extras of certain things she didn't list. And I'm like, no, I want some of those. Anyways, I walk into the store and the lady in the store goes, is there anything I can help you find? And I said, no, ma'am, my wife sent me with pictures. And the lady would not stop laughing at this. And again, I'm borderline insulted that my wife goes, he doesn't have the mental capacity to read off a list. I'm going to literally go on their flyer or their website or whatever it is that she went on and screenshot each thing. And then there was one that I got to pick between two. So you can get this one or this one. And they were on the same page. So I knew that was the one I could pick. I didn't have to get both of them. Like, she literally simplified this. My wife has a background in working in daycares before she came to work for us in the towing industry. She uses every one of those skills learned to deal with me on a daily basis.
Yeah, shopping, I always got sent with pictures too. And it kind of insulted me because she would send me a picture of the bag of milk. And yes, in Ontario, we have bagged milk. It's like, I know we get the dark blue 2% bag of milk. I've been getting that for years. You don't need to send me a picture of the stupid bag of milk. However, I was like, I'll do something. I'll get something that's not on the list. And we like pickles. Like the pickles with the garlic. And I'm looking and I see the pickles and I see garlic And I pick it up and I put it in the cart and I get home and I surprise her. It's like, I got a few things for you that weren't on the list to try to make you feel better, like a jug of apple juice. She really likes apple juice, but we just don't carry juice in the house because we don't have any crotch goblins running around that drink juice every day. And
Wait, can I pause? What's a crotch goblin that drinks juice?
kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Noted.
there you
Okay.
go.
Adults drink juice, right?
I know, but like when you're a kid, you drink more juice.
All right, fair
I
enough.
feel like I stopped drinking juice once I turned like 12 or 13.
Okay.
Right. Anyways, and then she was like, I don't like these pickles. I was like, why? It's got garlic in it. And she was like, no, there's a no in front of the garlic. I was like, oh,
No garlic.
I just saw the word garlic. And I was like, perfect. Garlic pickles.
That's 100% a man thing to do, right? Like once we see something that we're looking for, we don't even look past that. We just go, that's it.
Yep.
And no, my wife was the same way. It was like I said, to have the pictures, because same thing, she'll send me to get, I don't know. Rarely will I do the groceries. I can wholeheartedly admit that. Rarely will I do them. However, when I do, it's like she'll send me something specific.
Mhm.
And it'll
It
be
has
like,
to be
okay,
a
but there's
certain
like,
brand.
but I don't know that. So she'll just go, we need eggs. I'll go, okay, I want extra large eggs or whatever it is that I'm getting. And same thing, the milk. I know what milk we get.
Mhm.
But when it comes to, I don't know, rice or a certain pasta or
Mhm.
maybe a certain tomato sauce,
Or
all
she
those
needs
kind
a
of things,
certain
I'll come back
spice.
with one. What?
Needs a certain spice.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Spice is easy. It's the name of the spice. I don't think there's a difference between the 7 cinnamon brands that are out there.
Eh, fair.
But the fact that she walked in and I was so proud, I had no shame in it when I walked in. The girl was laughing. Just, yeah.
Hmm.
Do you need help? No, ma'am. My wife sent me with pictures.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna look at my pictures and match them and load up my cart and go from there. So my life has gone, my marriage has gone to another level
Hmm.
that I think, I'm not sure if I should be proud of it or if I should be embarrassed about it. I'm going to take it as proud because that's just the way that I am. I
You
never
can
admit that.
fully turn your brain off and blame it on your wife if you bugger it up.
100%. I just had to figure out how to drive there. And if there's one thing I'm good at in this industry, it's driving.
Yeah.
So I got my part down.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you had 2 legs and a heartbeat and you can walk through the store. Now,
Yep.
if you wanted to take that a step further, you get all these pictures and you put it on like a mobile app to get them to do like the self-checkout stuff and they do the shopping
I
for
could
you and they
literally
bring it
just
out
go
to the
online.
car.
Yeah. Go online, back up, load the
Yeah.
bags in, leave. We're set.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that is enough of the non-towing news and hearing about my wonderful wife, who is, I don't know, turning me into a kindergartner. There's there's a couple things that we wanted to go over on the show. There's something we missed last week that I really enjoyed
Mhm.
and never got to go to. So we will go over it now. So it was somebody had asked, and I don't remember if this was, I believe this is right off of a Facebook post, not somebody that asked us specifically, but
Mhm.
asked the interwebs, which can always be a dangerous thing, as we know.
Mhm.
Asking the internet for their thoughts or opinion on any subject, which is what I just did about 5 minutes ago, is a
Mhm.
very dangerous thing to do.
Yep.
But the question was not really a question, but stupid reasons you've towed something. And he goes on to say, I'll go first. A remote start doesn't work.
Hmm.
Now, I think we can be in agreement after last week when we went on an absolute tangent and rant against roadsides
Mhm.
that roadside customers specifically
Mhm.
tend to have the dumbest reasons to get a vehicle towed.
I got a good one.
What I want to hear it.
When we worked together, I
Mhm.
had a call to tow one of the newer Ford F-150s 4-door.
Okay.
And it was going to the dealership for warranty work because the rear passenger door latch didn't work.
Okay.
So the latch itself wouldn't latch and it wouldn't hold the door closed.
Okay.
But you can close the door and press the lock button and you can't open the door.
I thought you were going to say, like, if it doesn't latch, that's not really a dumb idea. If it
No.
does latch and will hold, like, I could see it more like you can't open the door.
Mm.
So I'm going to send it in. It's a rear passenger door or something. That is that would be 100% stupid reason, which is what pretty much this is.
Mhm.
If you can latch and secure that door,
Mhm.
there is zero reason for it. I have you beat. I had a customer one time who had me tow their vehicle because their wipers didn't work. Now, that being said, it was like 30 degrees sunny and 0% chance of rain for the next week in the middle of summertime. And I towed that like 130 kilometers.
Yeah.
So like 60 miles, just under 60 miles, because the wipers didn't work.
Hmm.
And I remember getting there and I'm like, okay, how you doing today, Mrs. Roadside Customer, Mr. I don't remember who it was.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on today, right? Our first question we always ask when we roll up on scene, like, what's going on? I know we have information.
Mm-hmm.
I can never trust the information, right? Flat tire, no spare, and it's rolled over upside down in a ditch, right? We know how this roadside information works.
Mm-hmm. Known starter problem is a big one.
Yeah, no, yeah, it won't start. Well, it probably won't start because it's upside down in the fields, Mr. Smith. But what's going on today? Oh, my wipers aren't working. Oh, well, have you been having problems before? No, and I think it was something with the transmission of the wipers, right?
Mm.
Oh, okay. So I remember looking around.
Mm.
So why are you towing the vehicle today? Well, because my wipers aren't working. I need to get them fixed. I was like, oh, are you coming? And like, are you coming with the vehicle? Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Like,
If he wasn't coming with the vehicle and it was going to sit at the dealership for a couple days, I could understand that.
Understandable.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like a convenience tow. I get
Mm-hmm.
Those definitely do happen.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he is riding with me to the garage because the wipers don't work on a sunny and clear day.
Wow.
And I still remember, like, just baffled. I remember another one, he didn't have winter tires.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, there was snow on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
He had not bald, but he had some summer tires on it. I wouldn't run in snow.
Yep.
And I remember we were about halfway into the tow, and this thing was going a distance.
Mm-hmm.
And we were about halfway in, and I was like, would you like me to drop you off here? Because like, we were heading towards Toronto and there was no more snow.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was one of those ones that, like, there's no more snow in the forecast. There's no more. The roads are perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll just take the tow. Of course you will, Mr. Roadside Customer. I don't have anything better to do. I'm getting hit with a storm in my area.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to go service my customers.
Mm-hmm.
You are an absolute inconvenience, and honestly, should take zero priority once you get to a safe place, because you're an idiot is the reason you're getting towed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I've got people who are stuck on the side of the road, and you are just literally, well, I didn't put my tires on and I decided this was a good idea. Right? Like, should stupidity outweigh priority?
Well, it's also the time that these people call for non-priority calls that make the call even more stupid.
100%.
Oh, I bought this vehicle and I need it towed to my new house. Okay. Well, when did you buy it? Well, I bought it last week. Okay, but you're calling me at 3 a.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, what? Why? That just makes it a stupid call. But I think the stupidest call I've ever gone to, it was in a very rich neighborhood, big houses, gated community. This guy had a heated driveway. It was wintertime, but there was hardly any snow on the ground. His driveway was immaculate because of the heated driveway. I get there and this car's parked outside. And it was windy the last couple of days. And I was like, so what's wrong? He's like, there's a tarp under my car. It's like, okay. He's like, yeah, there's a tarp underneath my car, and I tried pulling it out, but I couldn't pull it out. Oh.
So you called for a tow?
Yeah. Well, he called to figure out what happened, and all it was is the tarp kind of got caught underneath the one tire, and he was pulling against it and not away from it, so it didn't pull out from underneath the tire.
I'll admit that is a good one. Like, he just wanted.
You could lay down and feel the warmth coming off the driveway slightly. Like,
yeah, well, maybe he didn't want to lay down. I mean, that's what he pays his, $30 a year to his roadside for, is to not lay on his driveway. Mm-hmm. I've had that. It's not a vehicle that I've towed, where I've had one where we've attended a house for an unlock and they wanted us to unlock their house.
Yep.
Like, I've seen that scenario before, because they got in a fight, or they wanted us to go up. I think someone had thrown their keys on the roof. It was like, I think we talked about that back when on the show. I can't remember, where it's like they got mad, threw the keys on the roof of the house. They had the car key and the house key on it, and they wanted me to go retrieve them because, well, it's got the car key on it. And my roadside says, you'll do that. Well, your roadside is stupid, and I don't get on a roof.
No.
Like, I'm pretty sure my truck says towing and recovery, not climbing and, dealing with your shit.
Well, you are recovering their keys.
I will recover their car from the river. I will not recover their keys from the river.
Call a roofer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Call for a free quote for your roof. And
Mhm.
while he's up there giving you the quote,
Mhm.
ask him to get your keys. Right? Modern problems require modern solutions. But
Sir, this
it's
roof only looks like it's 3 years old. It's like, yeah, but I think it might be leaking. Hey, while you're up there, could you grab my car keys?
it's an honest question though. When I said, does priority or does stupidity affect priority?
Yeah.
Right? Like, do you feel that from a dispatch state of things,
Mhm.
if a customer, right, we know that we base calls on priority statuses, whether they're broken down on a highway or a road,
Mhm.
at a business or at their house, right?
Mhm.
Those are the main 3 priority levels, 1, 2, 3,
Mhm.
right? Let's say 1 being the top priority,
Mhm.
and then priority 0 is police.
Yep.
12, so 0 is police, 1 is they're broken down on a roadway.
Mhm.
And within there, there's different priorities too. Is it, in a live lane, on a shoulder, on a highway, on a, different things there.
Mhm.
Then it's normally at a business somewhere they can stay warm and sheltered,
Mhm.
but it's inconvenience because they're not at home.
Mhm.
And 3 would be at, broken down in your driveway.
Mhm.
Do you change the priority status of a call based on the customer's stupidity? And what I mean by that is, if the customer is broken down let's say they're on the side of a road, not necessarily
Mhm.
broken down, but they, I don't know, lock their keys out of lock themselves out of their car on the side of a highway. I've seen that.
Yep, me too.
They're broken down at home, meaning their car doesn't start, versus their keys are on their roof, right? They
Mhm.
they are broken down that their wipers don't work and it's 30 degrees and beautiful outside
Mhm.
without a chance of rain. Do you change their priority based on the level of stupidity? Or I guess it really goes into, do you change priority based on the full extent of the scenario? Or is it call comes in, call gets done, right? Where do you base that system on?
I'm a firm believer of, in this day and age, everyone's expecting 2-day delivery. If you need something, everyone's a phone call away. Help numbers are open 24 hours, that kind of shit. So anytime something inconveniences someone, they're very quick to call someone else to help them deal with their problems. But
100%. Our industry is based on that.
yeah, give people a little bit of time to think about it. They might realize that, hey, maybe I can do this myself. Right? You see that a
100%.
lot with, boosts or tire changes when they're long ETA days, right? You
Yep.
might, uh the ETA for a normal tire change in your area could be 20 minutes or 25 minutes, but on a
Yep.
real busy day when there's people stuck on the side of the highway, a
Mhm.
flat tire at home gets bumped down, and when you get there, "Oh, sorry, I already changed the tire. I
Or I
didn't
put air
realize."
in it. I had a
Yeah.
pump.
I didn't realize it was gonna take 2 hours, so I just did it myself, right?
Mm,
Give that person a little bit of inconvenience because it's not an instant gratification. They might realize that they can do more than what they think they can.
100%.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that bugs me more than a customer who is at home broken down.
Mhm.
And we've had this one just this week. And it's a call through a roadside,
Mhm.
right? And the call comes in, is dispatched to us at, let's say, 7:45 in the morning.
Mm.
And the customer states that they have an appointment at the garage for 8 o'clock. So please
Mm.
hurry. Right now, we talk
Go
about there's nothing
pound
worse than the
salt.
customer calling you at 3 a.m.
Mhm.
But it's like, okay, you got an appointment. If you're not going to make the 8 o'clock,
No.
I mean, especially most days at 8 a.m. is a busier time, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people, again, waking up, going to work from 7 to 9 is kind of, a bit of the rush hour.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, with shift work and night shifts and everything, that varies a little bit more.
Mhm.
But it is a busy time. So, yeah, to call your roadside. Hey, I got an appointment in 15 minutes. Can you get a tow truck here? And then the roadside to try and push with us.
Mhm.
Go, hey, can you guys make this one a priority?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, well, because they got an appointment at the dealership in 15 minutes. And it's like,
Well, I'm pretty sure they
why?
called the dealership this morning when their car didn't start, and they just said, "Give me the earliest appointment. I'm getting it towed in."
Yeah. But it's like, why is my priority change? Now, if all I did was roadsides,
Mhm.
right? If I was one of those trucks with just the roadside name all over the side of my truck, and that's all I
Mhm.
did, then 100%. You're basing your call priority off of what that
The
roadside
roadside
requests.
dictates a priority. Yeah.
100%. But I don't.
No.
Like, I have my own customers.
Mhm.
So your customer, I'm sorry, standard ETA is 30 to 45 minutes.
Mhm.
that's what they're going to have to go with. And a lot of people, again, because of the world that we live in with such short, you said that instant notice that they want, that quick response that they want. Our company is very much on quick response. But in the reality of things, if your car breaks down, think of any other emergency service. What is an appropriate wait time, right? 30 to 45 minutes is our standard, right? And we always say we'll be there within 30 minutes. Now, sometimes we're quicker, right? Depending on, again, there's so many variables going on in that day.
You could have a driver living around the corner from where they're broken down.
100%. I could have a
minutes.
truck that's going to be dropping near there. At the time when they ask, well, how long? Well, we'll be there within 30 minutes. We'll be there within 45 minutes, depending on what our volume's like at that point. And the people that'll go, oh, 45 minutes, that long? You can't get a pizza delivered nowadays within 45 minutes.
No.
But you want a specialty truck, specialty equipment shipped out to you because your car won't start in your driveway. You know, like there's an unrealistic expectation in the public nowadays based on this instant gratification that we want. Well, I can go and order something, like I said, it'd be drop shipped the next day or 2-day delivery. I can do this. I can call my grocery store or put an order in and pick it up in an hour and a half. Like even that, you can call. You can't get photos done in an hour.
No, like
at a 1 hour photo place.
I was
but you
sitting
expect
at
a truck there.
I was sitting at a coffee shop last night, drinking a coffee, as you do. And this older gentleman comes walking over to my truck. He's like, hey, man, I got cables, but I need a boost. Would you be able to help me out? It's like, sure. Right. So I pull my truck over, I pop his hood, and we start shooting the shit. He's a roadside member. He has a roadside membership. And we start talking about that. And I think people my age, my generation, mid 20s ish or younger, they'd be like, I have this roadside. I'm just going to call them. Not look in your immediate vicinity. Maybe a good Samaritan can help me out. Maybe I'll go knock on my neighbor's door, see if they've got jumper cables. Maybe they could help me out. Maybe I can find the help I need in my little community, my little bubble, to be a good person within the community, helping each other out. They're like, I'll just call this service that I pay money for, which is valid. You pay money for a service and you should get your service. But people don't try to do anything for themselves anymore.
No. Let me show you how an early 20-year-old deals with a car that won't start because of a dead battery. Hello, roadside? Yeah, I have a dead battery. Yeah, can you send somebody over? Okay.
I think it's the alternator.
Take a selfie.
Yeah.
Car won't start. Hashtag first world problems. Hashtag shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's true. It's like, oh, look at the problems I'm having. Right? But not, like you said, there's no, but because we built that into society now. Right? Everything is, hey, you want some food? You don't even have to go to McDonald's anymore. You can just go, ordered, done. It'll be there in 30 minutes. Yeah, it'll be there. You want your groceries? Done. It'll be at your door. You need a tow truck? He better be here in 30 minutes. Right? Like that is the culture that we live in. And so it is our job as an industry to adapt to that. Right? We cannot just complain about the 20-year-olds that, want to post on the gram. And did you see my IG story? And I don't even know what kind of terminology some of my younger employees use.
I think that sounds pretty realistic. IG story, I think. I don't know.
I had, did I tell you the story about where I had a driver who we were doing a recovery and his girlfriend called and she was like, hey, where are you? And he had a headset on. We had our Sonetics on. So we could all hear this. We could only hear his side of it. Yeah. And he's like, I'm on a wreck. Didn't you see my stories? And he's like giving her shit because she didn't check his Instagram story or whatever story, Snapchat. I don't know.
Yeah.
That he was on a recovery and because she called him. And he's like, what do you mean, where am I? I'm on a wreck. Didn't you see my story? And we're just sitting there like, what?
I mean, like, if you're posting something to your story, I'm sure it's just one more tap of your finger to send it to your significant other.
But it's like, I would never tell my wife, didn't you? First of all, I don't post on any of that stuff, rarely. Yeah. But it's like, that is that's the new method of communication. Like, that is where you should know what I'm doing all the time because, hey, did you have lunch today? Yeah, I had lunch. Did you not see my Instagram?
Yeah.
Like it's scary because these same people that require these services because they lack any sort of ability to do it themselves, right? Because it's not a priority, are the same people that are also coming into our hiring pool.
Mm.
Now, for the most part, if you are applying at a towing company, like if I have a guy in a towing company and he sends all day on Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff, he ain't gonna last very long,
Probably not.
right? Like I'm okay with taking pride,
Hmm.
posting photos of your truck, having a passion in the industry. I'm all for that. But if you are that person that, like, we actually had a guy one day, he was late for work because his car needed a boost. Okay, never called us. Sat it on the battery charger. Waited half an hour. Didn't have a boost option on this charger. Apparently, I don't know what the hell he did.
Mm.
And was 45 to an hour late. I'm like, why didn't you just call one of us to swing by with a booster pack and get you going
Yep.
and get you to work? Like, logic, right?
Yep.
I got a flat tire. Okay, change a tire. You drive a tow truck.
Hmm.
You know how to do this. I know you don't have your tools. I get it. And it's
Hmm.
not ideal. I get it.
Mhm.
So either give us a call and we'll have one of our guys take care of you. We take care of our own,
Hmm.
right? Like these problem solving skills are something that I think affects a lot of industries, not just the towing industry,
Hmm.
but these are our future candidates.
Yep.
These are, the tow operators more, because let's say our average age of operator is going through the roof.
Hmm.
And I mean, if my insurance company were to, like, if insurance companies were to see, I understand why they don't want to hire anybody under 25 or allow it.
Hmm.
Because have you seen what's under 25 right now?
Yeah.
Right? Like you said, it's the guy that can't figure out a problem. Right? He's on his phone constantly.
Hmm.
No wonder the insurance doesn't want to touch him. And it's a shame, because you do find them with the odd gem,
Hmm.
right? Who's 22, 23 years old, comes from
Yep.
maybe a little bit more of a blue collar industry
Yep.
or family, and
Hmm.
wants to work and is going to work hard. But, his generation has screwed it up for him.
Oh, 100%. And then it's a blanket statement of, oh, this whole generation's buggered up. And the old guys see that and they hear all these statistics of all the new generation doesn't want to work. So
Yep.
then when you get one of these new guys in that is in their early 20s, everyone's already got a preconceived
Yep.
notion about his character before he
Yep.
can even prove himself or
It's
her,
true. It's
right?
true. We try and I am very open to that. I started at 22, and my dad said it about my generation.
Hmm.
His dad said it about his generation, and I'm going to
Hmm.
say it about the next generation. This isn't new,
No.
right? Like my grandfather would have absolutely criticized my father for his generation being lazy and they don't work like we used to, and da 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 da.
Hmm.
My dad said that about my generation,
Hmm.
right?
Jobs
Like
get
this isn't new.
easier. Jobs get easier. Our population didn't grow that much when everyone had to be a farmer. When everyone had to farm to feed themselves and their family, and they had to have big families, lots of kids, because they needed more hands on the farm.
Which I don't understand, because exactly, they screwed like rabbits and they had 17 children, yet
Yeah.
our population didn't grow. I think your math might be a little off on that one.
No, it's because all those 17 children had to be out there and pushing a plow or walking behind a horse to plow one furrow. It would take all day to grow enough food to sustain them for their whole life. They might have
Right.
one or two of those children that actually go and get a job in the local market. It would
Mm.
also take them a whole day to travel to the closest town to sell their goods at the local market. So once agricultural jobs became easier, equipment came in to make those jobs easier, fewer people had to do those jobs,
I see what you're
right?
saying.
Fewer people could work more acres. Fertilizers came in, different tools that came to make the yields grow higher. So more
Mm.
people that were being born didn't have to worry about sustaining themselves because other people are sustaining the world.
Are
So
more
then they can
efficiently doing it.
exactly, they can invest time into technologies and research and development and all that kind of hullabaloo. And now everyone's just sitting around saying, okay, well, my food comes in on a truck. I don't know where it's made. It's probably made in China. Everything's made in China because that's pretty accurate realistically, not so much when it comes to food, but everything's made over there. So it doesn't concern me. What concerns me in my life now? What gives me purpose? Well, I got 500 likes on my picture on Facebook yesterday, but I only got 300 pictures on my Facebook picture or Instagram picture today. So there's something wrong. There's 200 people out there that don't like me today that did yesterday. And that will fuck with your head, my friend. So stay away from that kind of shit.
Oh, that is funny. It's true. It's true, but
Very
it's
true.
funny. All right, before we go on our complete tangent and hate for society and sound like our parents and grumpy and everything else, you got a couple videos or photos or something you want to go over on this show. So what do you got? What do you
So
have for us?
the first one, once again, scroll on the wonderful Facebook for content because we're good recyclers over here. This is
Absolutely.
a wonderful video that someone took of a tow truck sitting in the middle of the road with a Tesla in a very peculiar spot on his flatbed. So the comment of this says Tesla falls off from top of rollback tow truck.
Okay, so this thing is the bed is in its transport position. The
Mhm.
back bumper and wheels are on the ground. The front end is in the air. This thing rolled off backwards
Mhm.
while it was in transport.
Yes. And the lights are all on the Tesla. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming it wasn't fully turned off or could have sensed that it was in a wreck and was like, hey, something's not going on.
Yeah, no, that's a why what was his thought process?
Like maybe if I
So,
slide the bed back, it'll roll off. But as soon as he
yeah,
tipped the bed up, the car just rolled off the back of the truck and slammed onto the ground.
like there is a way that could have worked.
Yeah.
And it would have involved propping or cribbing or
Hooking
chalking.
your winch back up to the car.
100%. So I don't even know. I don't even know where this went wrong. I can tell you, he didn't use a tow hook. It obviously doesn't look like he put a winch on,
He
which means
drove it
he
onto the
drove
bed.
it on.
Yeah.
But how did he get from if he drove? That slam is so hard off the bed.
If we had
If
the
he
audio, you can actually hear it. And this guy who's filming is in a car, like it looks like it's 100 meters away, and you can hear the car hit the ground.
So I like, and I mean, the only thing I can give this guy props for is look at he's wearing reflective work clothing. Well, at least on his upper half.
Well, he's got a stripe over the top of the
Yeah,
shoulders. That's about
he's
it.
actually wearing a uniform. This is one of the more professional drivers that proves that. I mean, you can look good doing it. Doesn't mean
Mhm.
you're good at doing it. But
This is
yeah, they're like
proper use of your beacon lights too. He's in the middle of an
he's
intersection. He's got his beacon lights on. There's unsafe shit going on. He needs people to pay attention to him.
strobe lights are meant for loading and unloading.
Yeah.
He is trying to do both at the same time. He was trying to do one and ended up doing the other. So yes, it is a valid reason to have your strobe lights on. But like he like I said, brings his bed out of its locks and starts to tilt his bed. What was the thought process at that point?
Well, it wasn't in park when it fell off. It's probably in park now that it hit the ground with the back two tires.
Maybe this car is so smart that it knows to put itself in park now. It didn't while it was on my tow truck.
Mhm.
But I'm trying to understand how, like, how, because I'm guessing, like I said, because there's no winch hooked on, or the winch popped off.
Mhm.
And if it did, okay, stuff happens.
Mhm.
Rehook a winch to it before you attempt this. If
Yeah.
it wasn't winched and it was driven on, right? The plain guy no-nos, don't drive on stuff onto a bed, but likely, but possible, sorry, maybe not likely, but possible. How did it, like, it's clearly rolling.
Mhm.
So it's clearly in neutral. So what'd you do? Hold your foot on the brake while someone else brought the bed up and then just leave it in park and go bye-bye?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
or think you had it in park and go bye? What? I need to know.
yeah.
I need to know what happened.
Maybe there's
Because,
someone in the car. We can't see because there's
well, I
the
don't think
tinted
so,
glass.
because I'm pretty sure you see this guy running to stop the car from rolling, which
Mhm.
tells me it's not like there's somebody in there that can just throw it in park
Yeah.
or put their foot on the brake.
Mhm. But Teslas are weird. Like you'd think they'd be smart enough to be like, "Hey, you just open the door and the car's always on, but the key fob
No,
comes out of
but
the car and
transport mode, right? Teslas
yeah."
have what's called the transport mode,
Mhm.
right? You put the vehicle into this transport mode, and whenever you do, all four wheels roll.
Mhm.
And to load and offload, the suspension goes up a little bit, all that kind of stuff. So again, makes sense for winching it on.
Mhm.
Unless he drove it on, put it in park, leveled out his bed, put it in transport mode. No idea why. And again, didn't secure anything, didn't strap anything, just said, see ya, bye.
Yeah.
Like, did this just happen?
I don't know.
Was this, he was loading it and it started to roll and he leveled out his bed to try and save it? Like, we don't know.
No.
But what we do know is your attempt at saving it was a bad one.
Hmm. Hmm.
If anybody know whose tow truck this is and you know like, who this guy is, please share it with us.
Mhm.
Please. I want to know the story. I'm not gonna shun you. I'm not gonna shit on you. right? I think I'm being very nice considering it kind of looks, actually, that color pattern is and type of truck is like one of mine.
Uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
exposed.
I have a driver that needs some it's got some explaining to do. But yeah, like right here, he's fine. He's fine.
Mhm.
He's fine until the front wheels all of a sudden become on the bed when he tilts.
Well, yeah, he takes
Right
the weight off of the
there.
side panel, yeah.
And bang.
Mhm.
And it shuts off when it hits the ground. That's the good news. I think he just
Yeah.
probably shorted a battery out.
Hopefully the airbags didn't go off from that impact.
They might have. That was a pretty heavy impact.
Yeah.
You might
You
have
just
rode
off the
Tesla.
Tesla because it fell off your bed.
So it leads us into a good second one that you do have here too as well. From the interwebs, from the Tow Talk, right? We talk about Tow Talk. It's a great it can be great or it can be absolutely savage and toxic.
I love how this person just, for the audio listeners, it's just 3 words. Shake or walk. That's it.
And everybody understands what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shake or walk.
Okay. But even I had a little bit of confusion on this. So I understand what shake or walk is to an extent, right? What he's referring to is when you have a vehicle that is stuck in park, do you shake it off the bed or do you walk your truck? You had to explain this. Walk your truck out from underneath. Now, it matters. Like it's different.
You normally have to shake to be able to walk out.
100%. You need to get 2 of the tires off with a shake, right? To be able to walk. Like I ran into that exact scenario last night. I had a driver with a Tesla, ironically. Actually, son of a gun, it was a white Tesla.
Oh.
Maybe that is my guy. Anyways, where he was having a hard time. He had a hard time with loading because it was a DUI impaired. So no keys, no phone, no ability to put it into transport mode. And anyways, when we were offloading it, right, the front wheels rolled, the back wheels didn't, which I was quite surprised by. So yes, you did the little shake. We actually didn't even need to shake. Aluminum bed with a skate under the tire, she'll just slide. My problem is normally I will shake, or in that case, they slide right off. And then once the locked up tires are on the ground, I don't walk the truck forward because even that I don't like the control. I will, probably more control than what I do. Free spool the winch, chalk the back tires, like that guy previous forgot to do. Drive the truck forward until you're in the about last foot or 2 of the bed. Put the truck back in park, slide the bed out from underneath it. Right? That is my standard for offloading. But you can't do that. You can't walk the truck out without tires off, which means you have to shake and then walk. But I do love the comment, why not reverse winch? Not much time added and less stress on the bed. 100% he's right on that. He's right on half of that. Reverse winching takes time.
It does.
There's no way that reverse winching is... And it takes what?
It takes balls.
What do you mean?
Because why is that tire locked up in the first place? So let's say it's a brake rotor that's stuck and it doesn't roll.
Or just a vehicle in park.
Yeah, it doesn't roll super well forward, so you had to skate it up there and it fought you getting it up there. And you just, okay, I'm going to take the winch off. I'm going to reverse winch it off. And you start winching it down off your bed. And whatever was making the vehicle not roll breaks. And now it rolls just fine. And it goes bye-bye. You've got nothing really hooked to it anymore.
Okay, I see that argument where in a case where I'm doing like I free spool the winch and I mean, when I free spool the winch, it's the same idea. There's the same risk involved. I don't think your risk is higher. The walking out, then that's the argument you can make. Like I have shaked vehicles with a winch engaged with a little bit of slack, and then I keep adjusting my slack as I'm sliding.
Yep.
Right. But no, there's that same concept. When my back wheels are on the ground and I pull my tow truck forward, I cannot do that with the winch engaged. So if whatever is holding it decides to release at that point too, the same thing applies. Right now, what I did in my scenario is because of how far we were offloading and we have a wall in our impound, I actually took one of my ramps and actually used it as a long block that was backwards between the tires. So it was acting as a stopper that the car could only go back about an inch before it hit the block, and the block couldn't go any farther because it was all ice. It hit the wall.
Yep.
So yes, as long as you're taking proper procedures to do it, it is true. Because if you're walking it off, if you're winching it, reverse winching it off, there is no securement.
No.
Right?
Nothing.
There is no fail safe that you can go to. You can't engage your winch quick. You can't, so that is but it's a lot of time too. And not to mention, where is the point where you get the least amount of clearance. If you're talking about, you'll never winch a vehicle fully off the bed. And when you get to the point where you're 90% off of the bed, that snatch block is going to be lined up directly with the bumper.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the
So
bumper's probably mangled anyways. Like if you're missing a tire and it's sitting on the rotor and you had to skate it up and it's just not coming off your bed, well, you're already lost some of your ground clearance underneath the vehicle anyways. So now you're reaching up underneath the car with no securement, or hopefully you have a tire strap on the vehicle still or some sort of securement with the bed tilted to find a spot to hook your chain or your strap up to the front of the car to do this reverse winch. And then you got to crawl underneath the back and get your snatch block hooked up to hopefully dead center in the back of your bed. Because if you don't, what happens if the front end catwalks a little bit over to the one side?
Yeah.
Well, you've got no real control to bring it back at that point. And then you're, okay, I got to take the snatch block off here and try to do a side pull to get it back onto the bed. Like, it's just a pain. Get some Dawn dish soap.
That's what I was going to say. I'm a big fan of some sort of liquid lubricant, whether that be dish soap, whether that be, there's a lot of options out there.
Whiskey's a good lubricant.
Okay. For maybe karaoke night.
Yeah.
But some good liquid lubrication with a good set of skates.
Yeah.
Right. And how many times do you see guys put skates on and they just like kick them under the tire and go, okay, like just kick it? No, get a hammer. These things are meant to be, you can get them under the tire that the tire is not touching. It is all the skate that is holding the tire.
Yeah.
And once you do that with an angle, with a winch, vehicles will, with a little bit of lubrication, if you've got a steel bed that's 20 years old, it's probably got more waves in it than, than the ocean. It might be a little harder and it'll come in, whoa, it offloads, but it's doable.
I saw a Facebook post the other day, and I think it was one of the new electric Broncos or some damn thing. It was one of the big SUVs. It's a full electric thing.
Right.
Oh, it was one of the new Hummers.
Okay.
And the guy, there was a picture of a blue skate underneath it and a sledgehammer. And in the comments, it was, why do you need a sledgehammer to pull the vehicle onto the bed? And obviously, these people commenting on the post aren't tow truck drivers. It's because the vehicle weighs like 8,000, 9,000 pounds, and the tires are locked in park, and you need some momentum to get that little plastic bastard under the tire. If you got a sledgehammer, right, why not use the big hammer, the big tool that you got to make your life easier than using a little fucking hammer?
My drivers carry like a 5-pound sledge on them, right? The little 5-pound sledges, little Thor's hammers, and they're perfect. You bang, you can hit like, big guy like myself, I can hit that maybe 3-4 hits. Some of the smaller guys still, they got some weight behind it. Absolutely. Get it right up to the tire and use, too many guys just like kick it, tap. And then, I don't know why it's doing this and it's jumping and it's spitting my skate out and it's everything else. Well, if it isn't fully under the tire and the tire can bite and do its little, because of the transmission, it's going to spit a skate out. Yep. If you can bounce it, that it's up in the air, pound it under there, get the tire up in the air, maybe put 2 of them together for the bigger tires. You're relying solely on that plastic. Plastic, we have aluminum beds. Plastic on aluminum with an angle, very rarely will that thing not slide right off your deck. Right? And all you need to do is get enough to get 2 tires off there. And then crib it and then pull forward or, walk it if they want to walk it. Whatever it is that they want to do. Like, it's not, right? Don't be lazy.
Well, I think what a lot of people...
Plastic skates, too, first of all. I hate these manufactured cardboard ones.
I think a lot of people have issues with skates is because they will drag, like, the rear tire, and instead of walking the vehicle onto their bed and only using the skate to drag it, like, a foot from the asphalt onto their bed, they're just dragging it the whole distance of the vehicle to get it onto the bed, and it's ripping up the bottom of the skate. So now that smooth surface on your skate is now all rough and rigid, and it can get caught on the grooves on the bed. So it makes it really hard for people to get the vehicle off because the skate wants to stick, and sometimes the vehicle will try to come off the skate.
Nah, I don't think so. Dude, I've dragged skates. And if you get the plastic ones or whatever, they're going to be, you're right. Okay, so you might have some gravel in the parking lot. You might make ridges in your skate, but your ridges are going to be parallel, not, horizontal across the skate. It's not going to add any friction to the damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, it really isn't going to add any resistance to it. A lot of it is because, they're dragging the tire because, again, they kick the front of the skate underneath, and the skate's not actually doing anything. And it's just dragging it along. Right? Pound them under. 6 skates is what you should have in a truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 4 for each tire. 6 skates. And why I say 6 skates is simple. If you need to put all 4 under tires, you put all 4 under tires. The problem is when you get to the bed lip,
Yeah, you
you
use
need
the
a
other
skate to go
skates as
under
a
the
ramp.
skate. Exactly. So you put a second skate underneath the first skate just to stay onto the bed, and it'll pull up on. Once that's done, you can reapply that to the rear if need be. Now, most vehicles, 2 wheels will lock, 2 wheels will spin.
Mm-hmm.
So you only really need 4 skates.
Yeah.
But having
Unless
that
it's a new front wheel drive vehicle with
an electric handbrake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So I do recommend the Wreckmaster green skates. I don't care if they're the Wreckmaster brand itself, but I think everyone knows what I mean when I say the Wreckmaster green ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had good luck with those, like I said, those repurposed cardboard
Mm-hmm.
fucking press board ones. I've hit those and cracked a big chunk off the side of it.
Nice.
I need something that can take a little abuse, and I feel like the plastic does slide a lot better on the bed than this, again, repurposed MFD board. So skates are your friend. Tools are your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Stop with the, do you skate? No, I just drag it. Like, tools are your friend.
Skates don't take up much room.
No,
I can
and they're not
understand.
that expensive for the life you get out of them. And bill for the damn things. I bill for them.
I can understand why people don't always carry dollies on a flatbed because they're big and cumbersome, and they take some planning to put in a good spot to where it doesn't impede everything else. Carrying 6 skates in your truck, you can fit them underneath your driver's seat if you wanted to. They don't take up much room.
And we charge for them. You use a set of skates, we charge $10.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's reasonable. Hey, look, I'm going to take extra precaution. I'm not going to drag your tires. We're going to use this tool that was designed exactly for this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do a set of skates go for? I know they've gone up, right? They're probably $100 and some bucks for a 4-pack, maybe on $200.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get 20 uses out of skates and offset that cost, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You could be like my drivers who, when I normally do a walk through the pound every couple weeks, I will go find stragglers that have been left under vehicles because that happens a lot. I had one driver, notorious. Go into his truck, his skates aren't there. I would just go on the computer and I'd look at the last impound he did. And I'd walk out into the yard and find 2 or 3 skates laying there that he forgot to take out. So yeah, use these tools, charge for the tool. That's it. Like, enough of the hillbilly cowboy shit and just drag it. We can do better. Same thing, gentlemen, with the Tesla. Maybe you should think of skates. You can flip them upside down, use them for different things, maybe as a little stop wedge in the meantime while you try and do your sketchy shit on the side of the highway. So that being said, we are all out of time for this week. We do have more that we want to get to. Of course, we missed half of it. We'll get to it on the next show. It's what we do. Welcome. So don't forget, check out our website, towinglife.ca. Visit us on Facebook at the Towing Life Podcast. Email us directly at thetowinglife@gmail.com. Don't forget to comment, like, all that good stuff over on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, right? Subscribing is caring. It used to be sharing. Now it's subscribing.
You can share us too.
Absolutely. Why not? Sharing is also still caring, apparently. So, on behalf of myself, my wonderful co-host, Mr. TowManG, we thank you for coming out for another episode, and we cannot wait to see you again next week. Take care.
Toodles.
People are stupid.
Yeah, people are stupid. This shouldn't be new news to you. People have been stupid since the beginning of time. New news?
New news.
New news.
From another
Old
show.
news.